What up, y'all?
Welcome
to the J&O Show.
What we talk about.
We came across this video on TikTok that talked about keeping your black man. Yeah. But then it went left. Then it started talking about all of the stuff that everybody says we are.
Oh boy.
But it's not really true.
You lied again, you unbelievable piece of...
Yep. I got triggered.
Yep.
He did.
I did.
He did.
Shout out to Dat Shack. And I'm not taking this anymore. I'm taking a stand. Lying in the sand. Sticking up for the men.
Yes. Push play.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are a black woman and you know you have a good black man at home, you need to do what it takes to keep that black man. Because let me tell you something, there are not a lot of available good black men out here that are still interested in dating black women. So
I don't want her to get too far because I don't know how many points she has. What you think about what she just said?
What you think about this?
Yes.
I think that is a soundbite that is being broadcasted over the sound waves, over the internet in various places. But I don't believe that to be 100% true.
That's not true.
We've done videos on this before, and I've seen the stats. And I know that that's not true, even before seeing the stats. Just look at your surroundings. Like, look at what you normally see. If you see 10 couples, 10 black couples, how many of those couples that you see are like interracial couples? Are they pretty much just
Us.
Just
With
us. So I'm like, I know it's not true, but you would think that that's what it is because that's the narrative that's being pushed.
It's all a facade.
And not just by people on social media. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but y'all pay attention. Look at all these movies, look at all these commercials, look at everything that is being advertised to you. 9 out of 10 times nowadays on commercials, wherever it is that you watch your movies and things of that nature, you'll notice that you're always gonna see a black male or a brown male, with a Caucasian woman. They're trying to push that narrative that black men are not dating or not wanting to basically be with black women, and that is a lie.
It's all lies.
And I think that because people are not taking their time and doing the due diligence to actually look up the stats, they're just going with that narrative is being pushed. And I feel as though it's an agenda to continue to destroy the black family, personally speaking.
So the first thing I would ask for is, what is a good black man? What characterizes a good black man? Because you hear it, but what does good mean?
Take the color out of it. A good person, period. Someone that has a good character, someone who's honest, someone who's loyal, someone who's kind, someone who's going to treat you with respect, someone that has a good sense of morality.
Okay, so this is where I want to push back. Y'all jokers who out here believing that there ain't no good black men because they don't have a certain sense of morality or something like that, y'all full of crap.
Because I think you're full of
Now, just because they sensationalize it in our media, the thugs and the hood dudes and the idiots out here making the rap music that we all like, enjoy, and will fight for until our dying breath, doesn't mean that that's most of us, because it's not.
Nope.
I'm
Really
sorry to
ain't.
let y'all know, it's not.
Nope.
Like certain stats, like black men are the most involved, quotations, black fathers when they're allowed to be fathers to their children. This idea of black men not being good, and there are not a lot of good ones. There's not a lot of men that a lot of these women want because they're not exceptional in certain ways, exceptional physical specimens. They're not big or they're not handsome. Then exceptional in that they don't have incredible jobs. If you're an average man and you give a woman the ick, even though the ick that she has may be, oh, I don't like the way his clothes fit. I don't like the way his hair is. Because we have these stupid things that we're judging people by. We go, there are no good black men. The reality is the means by which we're judging good is so jacked up now. Your idea of good is warped and twisted.
Delusional.
This narrative of there are no good black men is bull. There's not a bunch of guys that will provide a lot of women with the luxury that they want. There's not a bunch of guys that will provide a woman with the ability to go on 6 vacations a year, every other month or every month.
That's crazy.
Do y'all know our parents used to go on 1 vacation a year? That was normal. In the 90s, in the early 2000s, it was 1 vacation a year, y'all.
Yeah.
For 1 week. That was normal. It wasn't normal for people to be going on 6 vacations a daggone year.
That's true.
To be traveling to multiple countries every year. That was not normal. It was never normal.
Nope.
So this expectation that we're putting on people to do more with less
Yeah.
Because the pay has not gone up as much of the cost of living.
Sure ain't.
So somebody's father used to be able to work at the factory and be able to provide a lifestyle for the family to be able to get a house and to get a car. And y'all remember these things called hand-me-downs? Y'all know where that came from, right? Because we couldn't afford to just keep on buying new clothes.
Yep.
The reality is women used to live within the means that their men used to provide. And the job market was very different because there was a large amount of manufacturing in America. And they lived based on what they could afford.
Right.
As opposed to wanting a man to provide luxury for them. And then they go, there are no good men. No, y'all perception of what good is completely jacked up.
Yeah.
Women. So let me just hit you with some facts. So then there's a large percentage of those black men that are incarcerated. There's a
Stop it. Ooh, I hate when y'all do this. I looked it up. You dirty, stinking mother. Now,
Really?
At the end of it, she has a good message. Hold on to your man. I'm with that because ain't nothing out here in these streets for you but SARS and chlamydia and gonorrhea.
Super.
Gonorrhea. So... So her message is good. When you look up the stats, less than 2% of black men are incarcerated.
How you like them apples?
Less than 1 out of 55. So stop this crap about we all incarcerated. It's not true.
That is not true.
Now, are we wilding out here because we have like the highest murder rates?
That's what the media pushes.
Yeah, I know that within the black community, they got the highest murder rates. We got the highest violent crime and stuff. Yeah, we stupid.
That's dumb.
We doing stupid stuff, but it's not most of us. Those are the ones that get brought into the media. Those are the ones that everybody talks about. But the reality is most black men are just regular black dudes. The majority of black men are middle class, regular, normal.
I'm just a normal guy with magic hands.
That's what the majority of black men, but those are the ones that get overlooked because they don't got no swag. They ain't got that style because they don't make a certain amount of money. That's what's really happening. And let's say we want to be generous and say, well, everybody didn't get caught because, you know, people be beating cases, right? Okay, then let's be generous. Let's double it. You're still only at 4%. You want to triple it? You're still only at 6%. Let's say only 1 out of 3 people actually get caught and incarcerated. You're still at 6% of the black men in the country. So please put some respect on our name and stop being disrespectful.
Put some respect on my name.
Okay.
Because y'all wildin' and y'all lying.
Now, I don't know who these guys are, but I do know that they're lying to you.
There's another percentage of those men that are just into men. It's just the world that we live in. There's another percentage of those men that are already taken and married. And a lot of them are not marrying the black women. So when you do...
Stop with this. See, because she said a lot of them and not most of them. It's approximately like 87-90% of women, black women, marry black men. And then it's like 85% of black men marry black women. So regardless of what everybody's pushing, the vast majority of black men who want to get married in the first place are still marrying black women by a lot. It's not even close.
According to the U.S. Census,
Thank you.
85% of married black men are married to black women.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And black women is better. They're at 90%. 90% of that are married.
So stop the lies.
And you tell lies.
Stop with that cap.
Stop the cap.
That's not true. Most of us still choose each other, even though we get on each other's last nerve.
You know, that's to be expected.
You do come across a black man that is single and good and actually willing to date a black woman. How do you ensure that he is actually desiring you and wants to commit to you? Okay, here's another fact. The number of black men who are marrying outside of their race has drastically increased, which simply just means they are not picking us. And that is a big concern.
Lies.
You sit on a throne of lies.
We just went over the stat for that.
Yeah.
Now, has it increased? Yes. With access, you're going to have an increase of that. You are. But is it still like a way where you could say, oh, they're not picking us? No.
No.
It's a false. It's a lie.
She's lying.
Blatant lie. 85%. Y'all can look it up if you said it was the CDC?
U.S. Census?
The U.S. Census. So it's not some biased university. It's not some biased website. It's not a biased law firm. It's U.S. Census data. Men still, by and large, are picking black women. Yes, and that's part of the reason why they complain about the black women the most, because that's who they're with the most. We're not going to complain about the women that we're not marrying.
It's a very good point.
That's true.
Like, I'm going to go and complain about Becky. I ain't married to her.
Nope.
I'm going to complain about you.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm married to you. Like, come on. No, bro. Because I'm sick of these, like, false narratives that's coming out, bro. Now, on this level, Can y'all see that? No, y'all can't see that. Is it going to focus on?
It's a basketball player.
It's a basketball player with his Caucasian woman. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this here screenshot, lie down. So look, when you get to a certain level, a lot of the black men that are in the media, you'll see their relationships with white women because they get into those spaces. It's just more of them in those spaces. When you're talking about people who have more money, yes, it's going to be more of them. First of all, it's more of them, period. Let's say for the sake of argument that 10% of black people were rich millionaires and in a certain area, like they all hung out together. 10% of white people were rich and they were in a certain area. They outnumber us by like, I'm trying to do quick maths. Quick math. But I mean, they outnumber us because it's like 60% of them and we're like 13% of the population. So when you do all of that math, I'm gonna let y'all do that.
In the country.
In the country.
In the US.
In the US. If we're doing the math like that, they're gonna outnumber us by at least 4 to 1. At least. So yes, there's going to be more of them in that area. So when you're in that area and this rich guy, he has a daughter, it's going to be a whole bunch of daughters who are Caucasian and there are going to be less who are going to be black by percentages. And the percentages don't work out like that. But even if they were completely equal, they would still outnumber us. So yes, they end up with those women because that's who's around them. That's who's in these rich households. That's the boss's daughter. That's the executive's daughter. Yes, it's a bunch of them because that's where they at. But when you average it out across the board, y'all get on my nerves.
It's a big concern for me. So you got to ask yourself, what is it about you that makes us less desirable? That is what we have to figure out, because the men do desire to be in a relationship. They're getting married and they're outnumbering us in marriages. They're just not picking us.
Okay, so we've already went over this. I'm not even going to linger on it that long. Number one, it's who you have access to. Number two, it's who picks you back.
That part.
So a lot of men are being told that they're not good men. Because what y'all consider good men could be physical attributes. It could be, do you got that swag? It could be, do you make a certain amount of money? It could be all of the stuff that doesn't matter. So if I'm looking at that and she's not trying to castigate me because I don't have swag and maybe I act or I talk white. Yeah, I'm gonna date her because nobody feels like being ridiculed. Nope, I don't.
True.
I don't feel like arguing with you. Like that's the biggest drawback that black men who complain have. It's the attitude. Nobody wants to deal with that crap. Nobody wants to deal with it.
No thanks.
Even if you consider that and you go, oh, the gender war between men and women, we still, by a massive margin, are marrying black women.
Yeah.
A lot of us just deal with the crap because there's nothing like it for us. I made this specifically because I'm sick of this narrative because it's not true.
They're lying to you.
No matter how much we talk about y'all get on our last nerve, but guess what? Y'all been talking about us getting on y'all last nerve for the last 40 years and we finally getting our comeback in the last 10. And guess what? We still gonna be getting married to each other even though we getting on each other's nerves.
That is also true, yes.
Oh, maybe you should insert that video here to see how we get on y'all nerve.
Oh gosh.
But you still love us.
Bruh.
Jamal, what the heck? You were supposed to be there an hour ago. You always make us late, and you know what? It don't even matter. Time is just a construct. And I feel like society, people can, oh, thank you, neck support. People could really learn to take a step back and smell the roses. If you're always rushing, how are you going to appreciate what you have in front of you, which is a man? A man who, is that a heated blanket?
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there.
Bruh, if this is what you think a man should be doing, I don't understand how y'all feel like men gonna be in service to y'all. But that was funny. That was funny.
Well, if you want to keep her quiet, that might be a good thing to do.
Nah, you know what they gonna do? They gonna pick a woman that they ain't gotta do that to. They ain't nobody trying to hear that crap. I appreciate that. That was from Jamal the Creative. I like that one.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Well, that's going to be it for today, guys. If you like what you saw, go ahead and let us know by dropping us a comment and giving us a thumbs up. So that way you can tell YouTube you appreciate us and you appreciate what we're putting down. What?
We're putting down.
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Press the off button.